Okay, so now we're in the city, and we're making our way to the tower, and our first battle with a dark Jedi. This first area here is kind of treacherous. There's a lot of proximity mines and things laid out about that you have to trigger without triggering, if that makes sense. Basically, throwing a thermal detonator at them is good enough to trigger them off so that way they do not end up blowing up in your face and killing you in short order. The other thing that you have to contend with in the early going here are the probe droids, the Imperial probe droids. And they do make the same noises, and unfortunately they also explode when you kill them. So you have to be wary of that too, because if you're really close when you kill one, it's going to hurt you too. Kind of like how that just killed two with one shot. And so sometimes it works to your advantage, sometimes it doesn't. And honestly, there we go. I didn't think that one was going to be worth the effort, but apparently it was. So, yeah, those are some mines there. Take care of those. Just take care of this guy real quick. Okay. No messing around. There we go. And there's one right there. There we go. Took care of that. Now this particular level here actually only has one secret area, and it's kind of a tricky one, and it's one that is really easy to miss if you don't know exactly where to look. So once again, I will be showing you where to find that secret area. Yeah, the first part here is just completely about knowing where the proximity mines are going to be. I played this game so much as a kid that I know the location of everything, so it's really not that difficult for me to remember. And this door won't open until this guy explodes. There we go. And continue on our way. And there's proximity mines right here, and in this alleyway. There we go. Now they're all gone. And now we can continue on our way without worrying about any more proximity mines, right? Right. Sweet. Okay, so now we have to take a little swim in a second here. Just collect a couple things. Drop down. Here we go. So, looks like some foreboding water right there. Activate some force speed. What the hell? Where'd that mine come from? And that one. What the hell? I thought we were done with those. Alright. And, yeah, we're gonna have to go back because I missed the secret area. Yes, I did. I missed it. And I go all the way back too far because it's not back here. So, I do find it. And it's over here. Just keep swimming up. I'm suffocating. There we go. That's the secret area. Basically in the tunnels underneath the city that you have to kind of swim through a little bit. You also come across a lot of stormtroopers. You actually come across your first set of stormtroopers in this level. And it's a pretty cool little moment. Kyle just kind of sneaks upon the room, and you hear the stormtroopers chit-chatting, which kind of becomes a staple of the series, like throughout this, and then in Mysteries of the Sith, and then later on in Jedi Outcast. The conversations that you hear the stormtroopers have become more and more elaborate and more entertaining to just stop and listen to. One of my favorites is actually in Jedi Outcast, one of the later levels. You're on the ship, and you're sneaking around a little bit. And you hear these stormtroopers talking about this new type of weapon that they discovered. It's like this ancient Sith weapon with like 4 blades or something like that, something really crazy. And they were talking about some rabbit creature that was like wicked nasty. And the conversation was just really funny. They were like, "Oh, that sounds dangerous." Well, it wasn't after they got done killing it with blah blah blah. So they get some interesting stuff. Nothing on the level of like, they're just sitting there like, "Oh, you hear."
Stormtroopers.
See, they think this is a drill because they haven't had any drills in a while. That particular conversation I've always remembered just because it's the first one that you hear, and as soon as you hear it, Kyle's just like, stormtroopers. Like, oh my God, they're stormies. They're bad. They're crazy. Oh my God, they're stormtroopers. They can't hit the broadside of a barn. They couldn't shoot Alderaan if their life depended on it. Oh. Is it still too soon for an Alderaan joke, I wonder? In the galaxy far, far away, I wonder what stand-up comedians would joke about. Like, would they find it in poor taste to joke about the Galactic Civil War, or, and, like, the Empire destroying planets and things like that, or what would be considered in poor taste in a galaxy far, far away, I wonder. And what the hell just happened? That's the one thing about playing these older games on a newer PC is occasionally you run into weird glitches like that for no reason you apparently die. So, not really sure what happened there, but hopefully the rest of the level goes glitch-free. I think it should, but yeah, I'm not sure what happened with that. These old-school games, as much as I love them, I really wish that, when they make new operating systems and things like that they would take into consideration that there are some legacy PC users out there that really would love to have better compatibility with old software. And, games like this that, up until Windows 7, because I think the last time I played it was on Vista. So up until Windows 7, this game was fine. It used to run perfect. Had the occasional glitch where it would just stop. But I was able to run it off my CDs and everything, but now my only option is to download it because I can't even get the CD to install. And, especially games like Dark Forces, DOS games, those ones are a major pain to try and get to work. Essentially you need to use DOSBox or some sort of DOS emulator like that in order to get the really old DOS games to work. It's kind of unfortunate that compatibility for older PC games is lacking on newer systems and hardware. Essentially, the only real way to ensure that you can play these older games is to just have a computer that's completely dedicated to, like, Windows 98 or Windows 2000, one that can run, like, all these old games and run them well. So that way you don't have any issues to try and get these things up and running. I haven't tried to install Jedi Outcast yet on my current computer. Like I said, it's Windows 7. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to go. But I think I shouldn't have any issues with that one, since that's, a game that's fairly recent. It was made within the last 10 years. Seems to be anything pre-Windows XP that really has issues, which is sort of ridiculous. Like, I can understand Dark Forces having problems since that was DOS, and anything with DOS now, because Windows isn't DOS based, but, now it's just becoming a hassle to play these older games, which really sucks, because these older games, despite not being technical marvels anymore, are still incredibly fun to play. And I would rather play Jedi Knight than The Force Unleashed. And, I love The Force Unleashed. That game really surprised me. It was a great game. It was fun. Good story. But, I just find the story and the characters in the Jedi Knight series to be that much more entertaining and that much more fun. Kyle Katarn, is such a great character. He's very memorable. He's kind of like, not really a Luke Skywalker. He's more of a Han Solo type. And maybe that's why I don't like Han Solo as much, because I find Kyle Katarn to be even better than Han Solo, because he's a Jedi. And Jedis are just badass anyways. I mean, anyone who can flick their wrist and shoot lightning from their fingertips is doing something right in my book. So, I don't know. We're getting close here, so we're in the bottom part of the tower. We're fighting the local garrison, as you can see. Gotta try and figure out a way to get up to the top of the tower. Kind of easier said than done. And when you see how you get in there, it's gonna bring up one of the things that I always find really funny about video game design is, like, you know, I understand video games are escapism, and that, you know, part of it is just kind of, you know, suspending disbelief for a little bit and just having a good time. But at the same time, sometimes there are some logic things that I just don't understand. Like, for instance, this part here, the way Kyle sneaks into this control room that you're gonna see this Imperial officer in on the left side there. See that? Where he's just shooting. Kyle knows to just climb in to this and hide in this little spot, and it's going to lead to a vent that drops right down into that locked office. Now, how the hell does he know that that's what it's going to do, and it's not going to kill him as soon as it gets to the ceiling? See, stuff like that, it's like, they're obviously logic puzzles that you as the gamer have to figure out, but how, like, in the universe, how would Kyle know that's how he would have to get in there? How would he be able to figure that out on the fly? I don't know. Again, it's really suspension of disbelief, and it's just one of those things that, you know, if you let it bother you, it can take you out of the game. So I'm just gonna run around this area like a madman. Essentially, I'm waiting for that elevator to arrive so I can ride it up and face my first Dark Jedi, Yun. So I'm gonna see you in the next part where we take on Yun and hopefully emerge victorious.